When I was 14, my mom left the home. And when she left, she left. So my mom was pretty much gone. At 18, I found myself homeless. My dad got remarried and there was no longer a place for me. So I ended up very early marrying my high school sweetheart at 22. We had our first child at 23. I purchased our first home at 23, and it was probably one of the worst transactions I'd ever had because we were so young and we didn't know, we were uninformed. Our agent just did not take care of us. She put us in a very horrible situation. The transaction was terrible. And I just remember thinking, this is not something that I ever want to have anybody ever experienced. We lost money on the transaction. We moved in, we had no dishwasher, we had no appliances, brand new baby, and we had absolutely nothing. And we had to go broke and go into debt just to have the basic necessities in this home that we really kind of didn't want, and she kind of talked us into it. So a few years later, I decided, you know what? It might be a good idea for me to get my real estate license. I started telling other people because, I knew the importance of real estate. I knew what it could do. I knew the possibilities of what it could do in terms of building generational wealth. And I wanted that same thing for my family. So I decided to get my real estate license. And one thing I knew is that I never wanted to have anyone go through the same thing I went through. I didn't want to have people lose their money. I didn't want to give them a horrible experience that I had. And so I built this business that was just based upon me serving people, me helping people. And when I approached business in that manner, and I've lived my whole life doing business, just helping, just serving people, I never ran out of business. And so that's pretty much where I've been throughout my whole career. And that's what landed me where I am today, just serving people. So there I was sitting at home all by myself for the very first time since I'd purchased it. This home that we had was filled with love. We raised our children there, had many parties there. It was beautiful. And for the first time, I understood and I knew that this was the change. This is something that was going to change my life, that things were never going to be the same. After 21 years of marriage, I was now in the process of getting a divorce. And I tell you what, that divorce was probably the hardest thing that I had ever been through. You go through things, financial, you can bounce back from that. But matters of the heart, something very, very different. And then when you have third parties involved and you have lawyers involved and they think you got a little something, they think you got a little money, oh, it gets really, really nasty. And the person that I had thought that I knew became a complete stranger to me. What I knew in my life to be true up until that point, it was totally foreign. And a lot of times I thought I was in the twilight zone. Going to court and lies being told on me, and all for the sake of just getting as much as they could from money. Money changes things. And it was one of the worst places that I had ever been emotionally. 2022 was a horrible year. But what I knew is that it was something that I had to go through in order for me to make it to the other side so that I could go even further. I needed that in order for me to be able to help more people. There's so many women, there's so many Black women especially that have been through the same thing that I've been through. And now, because of what I've been through, I'm able to use my hardship as a blueprint to help somebody else. And so I look at those moments as times of me just being blessed. Those were blessings. You don't think about those blessings when you're going through the trials and the tribulations, but when you get on the other side, you understand that you had to go through in order to get a lot further. And that was just a stepping stone, but I'm on my way to so much more greatness, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about helping other people. In 2022, I lost $1 million. Now, I worked really hard to build my income to where my revenue was 7 figures. That divorce was something else. It kicked my ass. It was something that it totally came out of nowhere. I had not expected to get hit this hard from a decision that I made to really improve my life. When you get lawyers involved and you get third parties involved, it becomes a lot more difficult. You have the opinions of other people that are coming in, that are seeing you from the outside looking in, and they don't know what's really going on, but they're advising the other person that they should do certain things. And here I am thinking, we're going through this divorce, and I'm thinking, hey, we're okay. We're not enemies. We could try to work this thing out together. I underplayed my hand big time. I did not expect half of the things that ended up happening. I ended up having to close 2 of my offices. I lost 70% of my agents, and I lost a lot of money. But one of the great things that happened out of this is it forced me to do something different. Had I not gone through what I went through, I'd still be in the same place, probably not really happy. I ended up moving to the East Coast. I picked up me and my children, and we moved to the East Coast, and I've not been happier. I changed my entire life. Yeah, that $1 million that I lost in revenue, thank God I had other investments that were going on, and I was able to pick up and move, but I had to reset. I had to restart, and it was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. Because you think about this, 20-something years with a person, you have that person right next to you, and you're living life, and you're building, you're taking care of kids, and you're thinking you're doing the right thing, and now you're all alone. And I had to go to a totally new place, restart, reset, all alone, just me and my kids. But I'm on the trajectory. I've already made the $1 million that I lost in 2022 back. I'm helping other people to be able to do the same thing. And life is so much better. The sleep that I hadn't had in the last 10 years, I've been sleeping all night. And I'm so much happier. Money is just material. It can all be gotten back. But peace, whew, that peace that I have is something that I haven't had in probably my whole life. But I'm extremely happy. If I can go back and talk to my 21-year-old self, you know what? I pretty much don't live my life with regrets. I don't. One of the things I always tell my kids is, the one thing that I wish I would have done is I wish I would have went away to a HBCU. It's the only thing. And so I'm making sure that my kids are going to HBCUs. However, I would just say, baby girl, listen, there are going to be some hardships. There are going to be some trials. There are going to be some tribulations. There are going to be some things that you are going to go through that you did not expect. There are going to be some gut punches. There are going to be some uppercuts, some body blows. People that you thought that loved you, they don't. People that you thought that were loyal to you, they aren't. And so you can't get so caught up in You can't get upset when things don't turn out the way that you intended them to turn out. Sometimes things just happen. Don't take things so personal. See, I'm super sensitive. I love everybody. And this is a problem. See, my therapist told me one day, she said, listen, Constance, everybody can't come to you. Everybody can't come to the penthouse. Some people got to go to the 3rd floor. Some people got to go to the lobby. Some of them motherfuckers got to go to the basement. Everybody can't come to the penthouse. And I've always lived my life just opening my arms to everybody and loving everybody and wanting the best for everybody and thinking that's how everybody was. And sometimes there is no reciprocity. A lot of times there wasn't any reciprocity, and that's okay. Don't be so sensitive. It's okay to still love everybody, but everybody can't come to the penthouse. And that's okay. Love people from a distance. Love people, serve people, share people, do for people the way that you want to do for them, but don't let everybody in. Everybody doesn't deserve to have a piece of your space. That's what I would share to my 21-year-old self. Everybody does not deserve to have a piece of your space. Building Catalyst Real Estate Professionals was one of the greatest experiences of my life. First one in the office, the last one out. But one of the things that I'm really proud of in building that company was the culture that I built, being able to pour into these people. I had some of everybody that worked for me. I had people from all walks of life, but the majority of the people who worked for me were Black women. I loved the culture. I feel like I was the gatekeeper of the culture. I was the gatekeeper of the synergy. I made sure that the energy was good, that everyone worked together, that everybody felt empowered that this was their company, that it wasn't just my company, that they felt inspired, that their lives were transformed because they were helping other people. And so today, that passion and that purpose of me helping people, because that's all I've ever been about, is just helping people and loving on people and inspiring people and motivating people and activating people. I did a TED Talk a couple of years ago. It's called Google That Shit. But it was talking about 4 ways that we can really close the wealth gap. And my passion really is Black people. I love y'all. I love Black people. And specifically, my contribution to closing the wealth gap is through helping Black women. I believe that Black women, we are the common multiplier. You give a woman a house, she gonna make a home. You give her some food, she is going to make a meal. You give Black women knowledge, she's gonna change generations. And so that's where I am. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm helping Black women to increase their net worth by 7 figures. One of the things for me, when I moved to the East Coast and I lost $1 million in revenue, I didn't lose my net worth. My net worth was still 7 figures because of other investments that I made. So now I'm showing other people how to do the same thing, specifically Black women. That's my passion. So I have women from all over the country that I coach, and we have a mastermind, and I'm sharing with them, and I'm bringing my friends, my expert friends who cost thousands of dollars. I'm bringing them in to share with these Black women too. And I'm showing them how to build businesses so that they can not only have something, but they can leave something for their children. Because the Bible says that we should leave an inheritance for our children and our children's children. And that's my contribution to helping our community leave an inheritance and close the wealth gap. I'm a servant. I've always been a servant. I built my business on serving my agents, serving my clients, and just serving people in general. And that's the reason why I was able to build a multi-million-dollar business, is just serving people. And so I've transitioned that to serving women, serving Black women on a higher level. And the reason why is because systemically Black people, we have been put behind through predatory lending, through Jim Crow, through segregation, all of the things that have took us out of wealth building opportunities. There is a solution for it. And a lot of people just don't know about the solution. A lot of people don't know how to access the solution. Guess what? I've been able to access it. I've been able to make millions of dollars by taking risks, making investments, doing things outside of the box that a lot of people just won't do or were afraid to do. And so now I'm showing Black women the same thing. I'm showing them that it's possible. I'm showing them that a chick from San Jose, California, who didn't grow up with any financial literacy, who didn't grow up with any good credit, who ended up filing bankruptcy and had a 379 credit score, but the next year started a business and it went on to become the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, that if I could do it with a PhD, a public high school diploma, they can do it too. And so that's where I am today. I'm just serving, I'm just helping, I'm just sharing, and together we're growing. And the biggest thing for me is me sitting on the front row, because I am completely invested. Me sitting on the front row and watching people's lives transform right in front of my eyes. That is everything to me. It's everything to me. Let me tell you something, honey. Let me tell you about Mr. Shay Brown. Now, this is not my first time working with Shay. Shay will always get me to do something because Shay is such a phenomenal person. The the organization, everything that y'all got going on, it's always high level. I have never worked with this organization and it not been anything except for impeccable. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I came in here, isn't my makeup popping? They had the makeup artist for me. I came in here, it was like the paparazzi, y'all. I came in, red carpet style, cameras blaring, and it was just so great. But the best thing about it, I would say, was that Shay and his team, they made me feel so comfortable. I'd worked with several members of his team before, and they always make me feel so comfortable. They made me feel so relaxed. I felt like I was at home. I felt inspired, so this has just been great. And I don't expect anything less. I don't expect anything less than stellar when I'm working with Shay Brown. I just don't. I don't. So anything outside of this, anything next, got to be on this level or even greater. I mean, it just is what it is. I don't expect nothing else from Shay. That's it.